Hello the Internet, I'm Justin, Communications Officer for Together Creating Communities, and as part of our vlog series we are inviting back the man, the myth, the activism legend that is Mr. Christopher Hall. So Chris, welcome back to our vlog series. It's been about 12 months since you last appeared on our website, so tell us a little bit about what you've been doing in the last 12 months.
Thank you very much for having me back, Justin, and hopefully we can have an interesting chat which will be of interest to our TCC members. Well, I've been doing a number of activities campaigning-wise in respect of Incredible Edible, Wrexham, Repair Cafe Wrexham, and Extinction Rebellion, ironically Wrexham as well. So everything has that Wrexham slant to it, and also a variety of activities campaigning on behalf of disabled people, which includes Nathan Lee Davis, who's been a bit of a great team player with me.
So Chris, tell us a little bit about your work with Incredible Edible.
Yeah, well, Incredible Edible has been in what I would say is something of a transition year. We have an allotment, a half plot at Price's Lane, and the difficulty that we have come across is that the food bank, which is now based in Roastee, won't accept fresh food, which is quite ironic because we think that people want and need more fresh food rather than the amount of ultra-processed food. So we've then had to think about where we can take this forward. But we've had a development very recently. Only yesterday I met a group called Family Friends, and we're talking with them about sharing the plot, and they will use it to assist their sort of clients. And we're going to try and have a creative year coming up now, and we'll see how that goes forward. And moving on to the Repair Cafe, what I would say is that we do something really in conjunction with Incredible Edible. The Repair Cafe takes place once a month on Saturdays at Kye Park Partnership between 11 and 1. That's been going really well. We've done it for 3 years now, and we received an award, the F.I. Jones Awards, and I collected that with Fionn Jones only about 3 or 4 months ago. So we're quite pleased about that, and we'll be carrying on. And we also, went to Westminster to lobby on behalf of repair cafes across the country. We spoke to MPs to encourage them to sign up to the Repair Charter, and that's something that's been going very well. But an interesting development with Incredible Edible is that we've got this thing called a free shop. It's almost like the two words that don't necessarily go together, a shop, but it's free. So people are donating things into the Kye Park Partnership. We then put them in the shop, and then people can come along and take whatever they want. So you give some things, you can take things, so people who want to declutter and downsize are contributing quite a lot. And these are all things that would have ended up in landfill, but we now have the opportunity to give them a new lease of life, which has got a great similarity with the Repair Cafe, which takes place on the Saturday, because we're repairing things and giving them a new lease of life. So I think that works really well between Incredible Edible and the Repair Cafe.
So tell us a little bit about the Extinction Rebellion work that you've been doing.
And interestingly, the way in which we work across Extinction Rebellion, which again is another Wrexham activity, is that whilst on the Repair Cafe we are doing very practical exercises trying to repair items and products. In terms of Extinction Rebellion, I think it could be seen as more theoretical. We are trying to raise awareness and promote issues and concerns about the climate, issues that are increasingly, we're facing, shall we say, droughts or floods. At the moment we've had a lot of rain, but I think it's a lot more than that occasionally. I think we saw recently in Caerphilly, just before Christmas in Caerphilly, there were terrible floods, and this is happening more regularly across parts of the country. And it's also happening across other parts of the world. They're either getting floods or they're getting droughts year after year after year, particularly, shall we say, in North-East Africa. As a result, livestock are killed and dying. and people cannot maintain farms, and the result is there's either conflict over scarce resources or people are leaving countries, and then you get the issue of people becoming asylum seekers or refugees due to either a conflict or a lack of resources and a need to exist somehow and somewhere. So the role of Extinction Rebellion in Wrexham is to try to raise awareness. We also challenge the worst banks who fund fossil fuel production. We think Barclays in Wrexham could do a better job. We hope that they take it through the system and raise the issue of fossil fuel production and consider desisting and stopping supporting and funding any fossil fuel production. But we've also taken a slightly more friendly and gentle role with this, because not everybody wants to talk to us about the heaviest aspect of politics. So what we do occasionally for events and activities, fun days in particular, we turn up and provide art block printing on T-shirts with sort of animals and creatures, dragons and butterflies and bees, the things that represent the environment and nature and the way in which we live. And bear in mind that bees are the best pollinators, so we want a climate that will benefit us and the nature, insects, animals across the world, so that everyone can live together in a more positive and happy way. I think that probably sums it up.
So the reason that we've invited you back for a second vlog post, Chris, is that you've recently taken a trip to Bristol with some of your work with Oxfam. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that and the reason for your trip?
Yeah, well, I really did enjoy that trip to Bristol. I have to say, when they'd come up with these awards, I didn't know either who was going to get the awards or what the awards were about with Oxfam. But essentially they recognised or decided that this year they would recognise the volunteers who are either stewards at festivals or campaigners at festivals. I've done both. I began in 2000 and I used to be a steward, but I think you get used to that and then you actually think, I actually like what Oxfam do, so I'd like to do a little bit more to help them. They're always working across the world in difficult countries with issues, trying to cope often with climate change and such an impact, so that I've become a campaigner on their behalf. And I picked that up probably about a decade ago, 2016, Glastonbury, and I've been doing 2 festivals a year, Glastonbury, Latitude mostly, and talking to the public about Oxfam's campaigns. They've had ones which have been reuniting families, asylum seekers, the family, the parents with the children. Second-hand September, where we suggest people please don't buy any new clothes for the month of September. Of course, we hope that they'll extend that a little bit further, so that they don't buy new clothes in October, November, December and onwards, or fewer clothes, because it's very intensive in terms of the use of water and resources, which is why new clothes and fashion is a particular issue, and we want to encourage people not with fast fashion and keep changing your clothes, but slow fashion and just wear clothes a little bit longer, and then we again are saving the planet's resources. To get that award as Campaigner of the Year was a bit of a surprise for me. Very pleased. I do work hard for it. I recognise when I go to a festival that the key thing for me is to do the campaigning. Then you want to have good weather. It's always nice at a festival to have good weather. And finally, you enjoy a bit of music in the evening, especially after you've done a good day's campaigning. So that's how I approach it. And I'm happy to take out the Oxfam message. I'll be doing that this year. There isn't any Glastonbury this year, so what I will do is I will do my usual Latitude Festival in Suffolk, and then I'm going to Boardmasters, which will be taking place in Cornwall. Can't wait to do it.
So obviously, Chris, a very well-deserved award that you received, and we look forward to hearing about all of your activities in 2026 in perhaps another vlog post later in the year.
Okay, well, we're already in February, but at this point in the year, my mind always turns to the London Marathon. I'm training for that right now. It's building up towards 26 miles. It's going to be a tough one, but I'm going quite nicely and I'm feeling encouraged. I'm going for big, long walks, 4.5 miles around Erithig. I'll be starting cycling again after I'd injured my shoulder. That's sort of now repaired. And I will be going for a variety of long runs with a view to raising around about £2,000 for North West Cancer Research, which has been my charity now since 2004. When I complete that, I will be campaigning in July, August. I will be campaigning with Oxfam at Latitude and Boardmasters, and throughout this year I will continue campaigning with my good friend and author Nathan Lee Davis, local author who's written the book Dirty Old Town. He's a brilliant disability campaigner, lives with Friedreich's ataxia, but we can take forward a lot of learning and lessons from his insight into disability, and I happily work as a partnership with Nathan as we do that. So it's a packed year. You need to keep your energy levels up, so I tend to just make sure I exercise actually quite a lot, and after a good night's sleep I feel up for it and raring to go once again. And I'll happily come back hopefully in a year's time, and we can do another chat and see how the year's gone.